Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. 147 doctors have signed a scathing letter addressed to Tasmania's health bosses, citing significant safety and staffing concerns in our major hospital. Health authorities have held emergency talks this afternoon after what's been labelled an unprecedented move in need of immediate attention.
The Health Minister out today, expanding a school oral health program.
It's a bit of a screening process. I'm having a look.
But it was an unprecedented letter signed by 147 junior doctors which dominated the day.
147 unhappy people prepared to sign a letter of complaint like that. That's telling us the system is broken.
The letter sent to health bosses raising significant concerns over safety, staffing and training at the Royal Hobart Hospital.
They do long hours, they need to make critical decisions on patients, they need to feel supported, and I can completely understand why at this point in time they're feeling as though they're under a whole lot more pressure as well.
The solution is broad and we have to make sure that we're engaging clinicians along the whole spectrum, which we are, to look at different and new solutions.
More than 1/3 of the doctors in training said to be looking to leave for interstate, citing concerns over patient safety. Experts say the problem stems from management.
Everybody needs to have a good look at them, look at their roles, and it really is up to the hospital executive to decide who are the right people to step into those roles.
I look forward to speaking with senior management and look how they are already looking to address their concerns.
We've seen no evidence of any kind of vision or plan for the Tasmanian health system and no evidence that she's listening.
The peak medical body says strategies need to be immediately put in place to ensure the well-being of junior doctors while issues are resolved. Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
An elderly woman is in hospital after a serious condition after a 2-car collision on the Brooker Highway. The crash brought traffic to a standstill at Rosetta just before 10 a.m. Police say initial investigations show the crash may have been caused by the woman driving on the wrong side of the road. The driver of the second car was not seriously injured. Meanwhile, a truck driver has had a lucky escape after a rollover at Hillwood. The crash caused minor delays on the Batman Highway as machinery was brought in to clear the scene. Urgent assessments are being carried out on a French icebreaker ship in Hobart. The Astrolabe has suffered damage, forcing the cancellation of a supply run to Antarctica. For more on this story, our reporter Ruby Kamain joins us live. Ruby, good evening. Do we know how bad the damage is?
Joe, assessments are still underway here at the Hobart docks. We understand divers have been called in earlier today. The icebreaker has suffered some type of damage to its propulsion system, but French authorities haven't revealed what caused that. The ship was due to have arrived at the French Antarctic station Dumont d'Urville on Friday. It's a critical supply run to refuel the base, dropping off personnel and collecting the team that spent winter there. That mission has now been cancelled and a second run is also in jeopardy, with the 2-year-old vessel facing the prospect of lengthy repairs in dry dock. Now, the Australian Antarctic Division, which is based here in Tasmania, says it hasn't received any requests for assistance yet. The French Polar Institute says its scientific campaign could be seriously disrupted and its priority will be on the safety of its people and the maintenance of its stations. But Joe, France is now facing some very serious logistical problems in Antarctica unless the damage can be fixed quickly.
Yeah, they certainly are. Thank you very much for that report. Ruby Kamain joining us there. A hoon driver, allegedly high on drugs, has been charged with a raft of offences after he was caught more than 50 kilometres an hour over the legal speed limit. Police caught the 22-year-old travelling 100 kilometres an hour in a residential area in Devonport last Monday. Since then, he's been charged with speeding and drug driving, while the car he was driving has been impounded for 28 days. They sleep in parks or cars with little choice but to risk their safety in the elements. Now, welfare groups are within striking distance of launching a new shelter for Hobart's homeless.
If you're lucky, St David's Park is a place to spend a lunch break, but for Hobart's homeless population, it's a place to spend the night.
It is through trauma, it's through circumstances that could arise in anyone's life.
It's hoped at least some of those struggling will stay here. The Youth Arc venue is a proposed site for a new safe space overnight shelter.
This will give us a much better opportunity to provide that safe space for people to be able to get a rest, to get some food, to get support and access to ancillary services.
The space would initially cater for just 10 people per night. Over time, more would be welcome. The state government is chipping in $150,000.
To get it up and running as soon as possible so that we can learn from it over an initial pilot program period.
Leaving City Mission and the Salvos to raise another $125,000. They've launched a confronting social media campaign to make it happen.
You know, a lot of people would offer their place to stay in that, but with girls it comes with other things, so you generally rather stay on the street anyway.
Labor has criticised the government for relying on public generosity. The charities are hopeful the doors will be open by the end of this year. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
As the rate of all skin cancers continues to increase in Tasmania, a revamped service has launched today to offer more support for those affected. Skincare Tasmania also urging the public to protect themselves from the state's harsh UV radiation all year round.
This former Tasmanian politician and uncle of the Premier understands too well the trauma of skin cancer.
I woke up and I saw this lump developing on the side of my nose, and it was so aggressive it actually came out about the size of a pea. Yeah, it really was a very traumatic situation.
And now recovered nearly 2 years on, he's sharing his experience as patron of a broadened version of Melanoma Tasmania, offering treatment advice and counselling to those affected. It's estimated 1,200 Tasmanians are diagnosed with skin cancers other than melanoma every year.
The cause ultimately is the same, which is overexposure to UV radiation. And so for us, broadening our scope of practice and enabling to support those who had all forms of skin cancer made sense.
And if there's one lesson I can convey to anyone to not go through what I went through, is to cover up.
These new wristbands for Skin Cancer Tasmania change colour when exposed to high levels of UV, a vibrant reminder that despite the cooler climate, our harsh rays could still be harmful.
It's not the warmth of the sun that you feel on your skin that's doing the damage, it's the invisible UV radiation. The things that we love, which is the clean air, the lack of humidity, the lack of pollution, mean that the UV just cuts straight down onto our skin.
Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
Our Big Bash cricket teams are taking to the water, launching a ferry service for Hobart matches to help boost crowd numbers this season. It follows some recent hurdles faced by both the men's and women's Hobart Hurricanes sides.
Off the pitch and onto the docks. These Hobart Hurricanes players are scoping out this vessel, set for a different kind of taxi ride for their fans.
So for the first time, our fans and our members will be able to have free ferries to all cricket from the WBBL this weekend, with the big weekend kicking off on Friday night, and then across all the Big Bash fixtures across the men's program.
It's an outstanding atmosphere, our home games, so the more people we can pack into the stadium and build that hype and win some games, it'll be great.
The free Big Bash boat service, taking up to 160 passengers at a time, will run from West Point Casino to Blunston Arena and is aiming to ease traffic congestion in the area.
Look, I think it's something that we've been conscious of, but this ferry experience is going to help alleviate that, so just give our fans and our members that experience.
Launching today ahead of a big weekend for the women's side after recent tough losses against Brisbane and Adelaide. But the captain says the squad is remaining confident going forward.
I think for us, we just want to try and play some of our best cricket. We haven't put a full match together yet. I think that's probably the exciting thing about this group is we haven't played our best, but we've competed in pretty much every match. So, hopefully we can finish strong.
While Tom Rogers is hopeful he'll return to the season next month after a recent injury.
Rolled my ankle in a Hurricanes practice game in Sydney a couple of weeks ago, so about another 4 weeks out of the game for that. But so put me out of the Marsh Cup and Shield matches just before Christmas, but should be right come Big Bash.
Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
A driver who mowed down a man with his car in Prospect but was found not guilty on mental health grounds will have to wait a little longer to hear the outcome of his sentence. Last month, the jury found Joseph Barker's symptoms of PTSD meant he could not be held criminally liable for a fatal hit and run that killed Dale James Watson last year. Mr. Barker was due to be sentenced today, but his defence lawyer asked for more time to seek further opinions from medical experts. He'll face the court again next Friday. Emergency crews were called out to New Norfolk today to clear up the dangerous aftermath of some wild winds. Gusts caused damage to the glass roof overlooking two shop fronts, while part of a large tree was brought down nearby. Weather stations in the area recorded westerly wind speeds in excess of 50 kilometres an hour. City Mission is hoping to give away up to $40,000 worth of donated goods for those in need this festive season. Launching this year's Christmas appeal, CEO Stephen Brown says the rise of payday loans are seeing more Tasmanians fall into financial hardship. The appeal aims to support families with presents and meals.
Being able to buy gifts for their own children and just obtain the food that they want to put on the table.
If you'd like to contribute, you can visit the City Mission website or make a donation in person at any of the City Mission's stores.
Tasmania has lost its one-day clash against Queensland by 4 wickets, but the day produced two unlikely big hitters. Debutant Mac Wright and paceman Gurinder Sandhu saved the batting lineup from ruin. The excitement around new Tiger Mac Wright soon turned to despair.
Bryant takes the catch, Steketty's got the wicket. Jewel has to go.
Tasmania in early trouble. Not that the school kids seemed to mind. In the middle, though, it was a different story.
Edged and taken, a little edge.
A green wicket and a strong breeze seemed to be causing headaches. Bo Webster showed fight.
Gets it away. He smashed that through the leg side.
But it didn't last.
That's close, that's very close and given.
Replacing the injured Jordan Silk, debutant Wright savoured his time at the crease. It took 21 balls to get off the mark.
Gives himself some room. Well, there you go. There's his first scoring shot.
George Bailey also succumbed to the bullish Bulls, but Wright's confidence only grew.
Probably shot the day back in the...
He finished just shy of 50. Billy Stanley aimed high.
Oh, sheesh, that's out of the back of the hand.
So did Gurinder Sandhu, smashing two sensational sixes before farcical scenes when he brought up his 50 and was run out at the same time.
He thinks he's going to make it safely. He hasn't ground his bat. 1 foot, and then the next foot is in the air. That's gone.
Defending a total of 223, Jackson Bird went to work, removing Max Bryant. Sandhu claimed Matt Renshaw. Bird flew in again with the Tigers' third scalp. Then Clive Rose struck.
Out! Clive Rose gets the breakthrough.
And a run out had the Tigers in with a sniff.
Could be a run out. Golden duck!
But Usman Khawaja and Jack Wildermuth were relentless, guiding Queensland to a 4-wicket win. Tasmania's final one-dayer is on Wednesday against New South Wales.
Good evening. The wind continued across the state today, bringing showers to the west. The strongest wind gust was 131 kilometres an hour on Mount Wellington. Hobart 21 degrees, Launceston 19, Burnie and Devonport 18 today. Above average temperatures in the east, with Friendly Beaches out top with 25 degrees. St Helens and Grove 19, Ouse 17, Low Head and the Islands 16, Smithton 15, Lyowini 14 and Strawn a pretty cool 12 degrees. Low cloud across the west and through Bass Strait. Mount Reid had 14 millimetres of rain today, and we also had Strawn with 6, mountain wave cloud over the rest of the state. Low level cloud is to our west, drifting over the Bight. A band of mid to high cloud approaches Western Australia. Some scattered cloud over the top end and coastal Queensland. Tomorrow a high pressure system moves right over us. Troughs continue over the mainland as that front moves closer to Western Australia. The winds west to southwesterly 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots over the south. They'll shift to the southeast later over the east coast. Strong wind warning for waters between Wineglass Bay and Low Rocky Point. Hobart tomorrow, a top of 19 degrees and a cloudy day. Windy for Adventure Bay, bit of cloud, 15 the top and 14 the high for Tarraleah. Launceston mostly sunny and 22 up to 20 for Devonport. Bridport sunny as well, 19 the top. 19 the high also for Burnie, a sunny day. Fine but cloudy in the west, Strawn and Marrawar 15 degrees. And in the east tomorrow, St Helens, cloudy and 18, 20 for Swansea. White mark on Flinders Island 17. UV sitting on 9 and very high tomorrow. On Wednesday, partly cloudy for most of us, maybe a late shower over the west. Temperatures warming up on Thursday ahead of a late shower for the west and south. And on Friday, mostly fine, just another late shower over the west. Partly cloudy for Perth and Melbourne tomorrow. A sunny 29 in Adelaide. Temperatures into the 30s further north with smoke haze over Sydney. Still windy over Hobart, 16 at the moment, 16 in Launceston, a bit of cloud, and 15 and partly cloudy in Devonport. A particularly bad hair day today, Joe. I'll be taking remedial action on that front tomorrow.
Oh, good. Be nice for you to have a haircut. Well, that's all from the news team for now. Thanks so much for your company. We'll see you a little later with updates. Bye-bye.